Good day, everyone. Today, now, at this time, we are going to be looking at what you can't miss in the paper. Let me know if you have any challenge on a specific topic so that we sort that out at this time, at this juncture. Please don't be scared of asking a question. Definitely, I'll answer that question immediately. All right, it is M.Saidi. Let's start our journey of getting the distinction so that we don't lose it. Guys, let me start with a topic of nervous system. If you have any challenge, let me know. Guys, there are some questions which you're gonna find, and there are some questions whereby students find the problems when that question comes. The first question is the eye. So I'm going to talk about the eye because the eye has been a problem to many students, and we have to solve that problem today because we only have one last night for you to solve this out. All right, guys, let me know if you have any challenge. On the eye, make sure that you know how to label. When you say labeling is cool, what is this? This is the iris. This is also the iris, but the space between the two, we call it pupil. So people confuse iris and pupil. The space. So when the part comes like that and they ask you X, then it means that they're asking you about the pupil. But when they're just pointing like F, that is the iris. This is vitreous humor. And then the one which is in front, we call it vitreous because it is viscous. It is viscous. And then what is the function is to bring about the shape of the what? Of the eyeball. That is the major function of this. It also does the refraction. You should not forget about that. Then pupil, its function is to allow light to enter the eye. While the function of the iris, yes, is to regulate the diameter of the pupil. So you see, when they bring this, always students lose marks. I repeat that the iris controls this space. This space is called the pupil. And then when you look into someone's eye, you'll see a person there. So that part where you see the person is what you call the pupil. But these two parts is what called the iris. The iris is the responsible for controlling the diameter of the pupil. The lens, that one is fine, is the refraction of light. Then the outside part is the cornea. Is it clear? Is the what? Is the cornea. Please go to the paper when you at least the eye. Is the cornea. And then what is the function of the cornea? Cornea is basically to refract light so that it can be focused onto the retina. Then you have this part which you call the blind spot. The blind spot, the function of the blind spot, basically that's where image cannot form. If light falls on the blind spot, then automatically the image is not going to form. Why? They can ask you a question that why when the image falls, when light falls on the blind spot, the image cannot form is because there are no photoreceptors. That is the rods and the cones. So please, guys, you have to know that before you go to the paper. Then you have this part which called the yellow spot, which sometimes you call it fovea, but it's better to call it yellow spot. Yellow spot, it is where the sharpest image is formed. Sometimes they can bring a graph and ask you that, for example, something like this, and this say that And then they say that this is a retina, and the shape of the graph shows the shape of the graph shows it shows the concentration of the how the image is clear. So it means that here you have the image is formed is much more clear than this, but this is much more clear than this, you understand. But this one is the sharpest. They ask you which part of the eye we're gonna find maybe X, Y, and Z. We're gonna find X, so automatically it's gonna be on B. Why? Give a reason. Because that's where the clearest image is formed. And then that, why is the clearest image formed there? Because it has the highest concentration of rods and cones. So guys, the eye, I repeat, the eye, please don't make a mistake to go when you don't know it, because this, I started with this because I know that many people have challenge with the eye. So labeling, make sure that you know how to label the eye very well. Then another part which confuse students is this part. Sometimes we make it black, dark, or black or dark, whatever. So this part, what is this part? This part is called choroid. What is the function of choroid? Actually, it contains the most blood cells. So it basically supplies the nutrients to the eye. Also, it absorbs that excess light, so that first of all, it reflects light. It reflects light. If it definitely light will need to be reflected, but too much of it is absorbed by it. Is very good, is well developed in organisms which are nocturnal, like dogs which see at night, than humans who see during daytime. All right, so I at least know how to label. Let me see here some few questions. Identify function F. Where is F? So we part. Identify structure F. So we have seen it, that is iris. Name two functions of A. They are looking for the shape of this, so it brings about the shape of the eye. Yes, the eyeball. It gives the eyeball its shape, you understand. Yes, it also supplies nutrients to also the what, to the eye. So it refracts bending of light, bending of what, of light. So please go when you know at least that. The difference between C and B, C and B, where is C and B? C, where is C? C is here, and B, you see now, they are looking at the two differences. Remember that here it is called a blind spot. That's where the image is not formed, while B, that's where the image is formed. So B, we say that it has high concentration of rods and cones, while C has no rods and cones. So basically here you form the clearest image at B, while here you don't form any image in that regard. So please make sure that you know how to answer such questions. Explain the sight of the person will be affected if cataracts is developed in D. So basically, when cataracts is one of the defects of the eye, cataracts is when the person cannot see because of the lens becoming cloudy. So this thing becomes cloudy, whereby you can't see it anymore. You can't see, light cannot penetrate through it. Yes, let me show you. Maybe I should do this so that some of them you see them clearly. All right, let me show you here. I'm just opening here some things which we're gonna use so that, because sometimes there are some people who have just joined this class whereby they don't know too much of things which can help them. Yes, okay. Okay, yeah, I think now it's opened. You can see it clearly. Let me check and see. Oh yeah, it's opening. All right, that's what I want is here, so that now when I explain some of the things you are able to see clearly. Yes, I'm here. So this is what you call cataract. Yes, when the lens becomes cloudy, it looks like that. So when you look at this, When you look at this, this is the lens which becomes cloudy, whereby you cannot see it anymore. You cannot see the object anymore. Why? Because this lens cannot allow light to go through to the retina. So that's as a result of this lens becoming what? Cloudy. You can see that this lens is looking different from this one. You see? Yes. So this kind of defect is called cataracts. And how do you treat it? You treat it using surgery. All right. Then I think now we need to talk about accommodation and the pupillary mechanism. That's where the problem comes from. When they bring a question concerning about pupillary mechanism or accommodation, students tend to go off. They explain accommodation instead of explaining pupillary mechanism, and then they explain pupillary mechanism instead of explaining accommodation. So those two, they confuse students. Describe the process of accommodation that takes place when the object is less than 6 meters. Guys, when they ask you a question that 6 meters, maybe from 6 meters, maybe 5 meters to 10 meters, you explain what is last. When they ask you maybe from 10 meters to 2 meters, yes, you explain what is last. Sometimes they can ask you by tricking you that explain what happens what happens to the adjustment of the eye when the person is looking at object which is 200 centimeters away from the object. Now someone is going to explain long sight. Someone is going to explain distant object, yet they said 200 centimeters. So you guys make sure that you look at the question very well before you answer that question. This is not more than 6 meters because they said in centimeters. So in this case, this is 2 meters. Therefore, it is an object which is near, so that is easy to what? To see. So guys, if you have a question, let me know. Basically now at this time, if you are to ask a question on the eye, the ear, the reflex arc, and the brain. That's what I want to start with. Then after that, we shall go to the next topic, and then so that you don't lose a distinction. You don't lose a what? A distinction. All right. So now, okay. Now let me explain to you. Now you have what you call a binocular. You have what called pupillary mechanism. You have what called accommodation. So now these three, this is where the questions are going to come from. Binocular means you are using 2 eyes. That is a simple thing, using 2 eyes. Basically, why do you do that? So that you bring about deep perception of object or correct distance. Just check when you're using 1 eye and then you're using 2 eyes. You will see. Pupillary mechanism and accommodation. Guys, this is where the problem comes from. When they ask you about pupillary mechanism, there are some things which we are supposed to look at. Number 1 is the pupil. Number 2, the iris. Number 3, retina. That's all. You don't talk about anything else. Of which the iris has radial muscles and circular muscles. Those are the 2 things which you need to talk about. Now, let's go back to our booklet and I show you exactly what you... So this is the binocular, not that too much. I'm not interested in... This is where the marks come from and where students lose it. So since we talked about pupillary mechanism, this is it. So when you talk about pupillary mechanism, we are looking at how much light enters the eye. How much pupillary mechanisms is ability of the eye to adjust or to control to see in dim and bright light. You see? Yes. So here you only talk about radial muscles, circular muscles. You don't talk about anything else except that. I'm not teaching, but I'm trying to remind you. In most cases, when you watch this video, by the time you leave, at least you don't need to revise. You have to go right. Just remember what I was saying today, and then you just write when things are just flowing like a bullet. Yes, I want you, when you are giving answers, The answers must be correct and they're flowing like what? A bullet. So you're telling me the speed at which you will be finishing. But don't make the examiners fools by finishing the paper in 30 minutes, yet the paper is 2.5 hours. Ne? Yes. All right, let's continue, guys. Let me ask. Haman, are you here? Oh, by the way, Haman is one of the members who are supporting us. All right, thank you. Yes, someone is asking me, sir, which past paper can we focus on? Which past paper can you focus on? There are so many past papers you can focus on, but it's not about focusing on past paper. Ne? It's focusing on what I'm telling you today and revising what I'm doing now. So we're gonna do some questions and then we see how we can solve this out. You understand? Yes. Bandile, thank you very much. Please use that distinction material. Make sure that use it so that you score a distinction. All right. Now let's continue and then we say that this is bra light. Don't memorize bra light and dim light. Memorize one, the other one is the opposite. Ne? So that it's easy. Ne? It's easy. Dim light. Don't forget that we say that in dim light, you mix things up. Ne? And then bra light, you don't mix things up. It's technology. Let me check and see. Technology. All right. Sorry, guys. Ne? Yeah. Dim light, you mix things up. And then bra light, you don't mix things up. So what does it mean here? It means that R goes with R, C goes with the C. When is this? This is bra light, because in bra light you don't mix them up. So you guys come back here and see that R means radio muscle. Another R means relax. First C is satura. The next C is contract. R with R, C with the C. That's bra light. You understand? So then it means that, sir, can you do homeostasis? I'm gonna go there. Don't worry. Yes. So it means that we can answer this very well. R with R, C with the C. Ne? Bra light. Ne? Bra light. Ne? So meaning that radio muscles contract, radio muscles relax, satura muscles contract. The diameter of the pupil. When you look into the eye, when you look into the sun, what happens? That is in bra light. You constrict the eye. Ne? You close the eyes. So that's what it means. The diameter of the pupil constrict. Less light enters the eye. You understand? So when you talk about less light enters the eye, it means that you are able to see this object. That's why I'm saying that you need to talk about the pupil, the iris, and then where that eye is going to see that object from. So basically that's what you are supposed to look. Now the dim light is the difference, is the reverse. Let me remind you this. When you are going to sleep, what do? You switch off the lights. Now imagine, because I know you guys were still young, and we pray that you stay virgin until it's time for you to get married. If you lost it, start now. Ne? Okay, now, for those who are married, automatically they're going to switch off light. And what happens after switching off light? Definitely things are going to be mixed up. That's the dim light. So you remember that when it's dim light, you mix things up. R with the C, you mix it, and then C is going to go with R. So done with that. We go to distant object, nearby object. How do I differentiate between the two? Because sometimes you forget. You don't know what to say. This is what you're going to say. When you look at the plane, the aeroplane, yes, when it is far in the sky, you will see it as small, isn't it? But when you go to the airport, you will see it as what? As big. So when the object is near, it looks bigger. So the lens is supposed to also be big. When the object is far, it looks small. The lens is also supposed to be small. So when they bring two questions whereby one has a big lens, one has a small lens, we ask you which one is near object. Near object looks big, so the lens is supposed to be big. Far object, the lens is supposed to be small. Definitely, it's the same story. You see, guys, it is easy to remember and to deal with this. So you don't need to be frustrated and cry and cry. Look at the lens. If it is big, near object. If it is far, it's small, it's a far object. The way you see the what? The objects. All right. Now, you have a big. Now, how do I remember now to write the statements? All right. You have the near object is big, and then you have the far object is small. As you assume or whatever you call it, this is a balloon. You have pumped air into this balloon, and you want it to be big. Do you pull it on this end? No, you don't pull it. What about when you pull it? It becomes smaller and elongated. So that's the pressure, that's the force which is applied on this. Now assume that your hands are suspensory ligaments. So when you pull the suspensory ligament, what happened to this? It's gonna change into that. When you don't pull, it's gonna be like that. You see? So now, when you don't pull, yes, what happens? This lens is gonna become big. It's gonna become more convex. It's gonna become thick. You understand? And then when you pull it, it's gonna become thin. You see? That's the meaning. So you will see that when these muscles are like that, it means that they are relaxed. When they are stretched straight like this, it means that it is taut, meaning that you have pulled them. So when they are relaxed, automatically there will be less pressure or less force on this, and then the lens is going to become big. That's the idea behind. You see the object near, it's supposed to be big, and then far, near is supposed to be what? Big, yes, and then far is supposed to be what? Small. So the lens is supposed to be small, the lens is supposed to be what? Supposed to be big in that regard. Are we together? So immediately after this, we shall go to, after this topic, we shall go to the homeostasis, because I know that it's also another issue. Just show you how you're gonna, when the question comes, you're gonna deal with that question, simple, no stress, and then you pass, you go, and then become a better person. Let's continue. Now, you have this. We have seen it. So here we say that ciliary muscles contract. When this one contract, this one relax. So in science, we call it, they become slacken. The suspensory ligament becomes slacken. But in actual sense, they relax. But don't use the word relax, because we won't give you a tick for that. So this one, they relax, they contract, this one relax. When this one relax, this one contract. You understand? And then the tension on this lens become is reduced, meaning that the lens, the tension on the lens decreases, the lens become more convex, and then what happens? The light which comes is more refracted. So light rays are reflected, or they are bent more, and then a clear image is focused onto this retina. Guys, make sure that you master one, and then you focus on other things. You master one, you know that me, I go when I know near object. When they ask you the far object, definitely you just swap the words contract, or you say relax. So how do you write it? You can write it maybe with a pencil somewhere, and then the way you memorized it. Then these parts which are in color, then now you change, you write the opposite. Contract, you say relax. Slacken, you say becomes taut. Decreases, you say increases. More convex, less convex. Bent, more, bent, less. Clear image, only this point which remains the same. So the rest, you get the marks. All right. So now let's find out some questions of the eye, other questions of the eye, and then we smash them. After smashing them, then we go to the next question. All right. Yes, let's answer. What is A? A is the ciliary muscle. What is B? B is the iris. You see, it's pointing on this projection. What is C? C is the lens. What is D? D is the outside part which protects the eyeball. It protects it. So it is the sclera. And then now they're asking you this dark layer. You see, we talked about it. Dark layer, we say that is called choroid, and then this one is called this one. We say that this one is called optic nerves. Optic means light, so now it is a optometrics, and so meaning that you is a person who is dealing with the eye. So whenever I talk about optics, you are talking about what? You're talking about the eye. So now I think now you can able to answer questions concerning about this. Let me check it. I love this. Become cloudy or opaque, and a person gets older and leading to decrease in vision. So we talked about this as the cataracts. Yes, guys, if you have a question, let me know. Please help me with the balance. Yeah, we're gonna go there. Yeah, you have another question here. What is A? So now, guys, I think now you can answer. You can answer. Yes, sometime I'm gonna give you some free, maybe 5 minutes to do for me the question, and then I come back, I smash it, and then I see that if you have smashed it. If you have not smashed it, then automatically if it comes tomorrow, you're able to smash it. Yes. All right. Yeah, so this, okay, let me just talk about long sight, short sight, and then cataracts. Then we are able to conclude with the eye. Guys, when you say long sight means that you are able to see objects which are far. When you say long sight, you are able to see objects which are what? Which are far. Short sight, you are able to see objects which are near. While cataracts is about the cloudy of the lens, and then astigmatism is about astigmatism. It means the cornea is not evenly distributed, so the person will not be able to see. The person won't be able to see one image. It sees the multiple image. The example of astigmatism is get a mirror. Look into the mirror. You'll see yourself there. Whether ugly or beautiful or what, or big, small, whatever. So now, break the mirror into small pieces. What is going to happen? You're going to see different pieces. Every piece, you're going to see your image. That's exactly what happens to astigmatism. You form multiple images. And then once you form multiple images, you won't be able to see. So make sure that at least you know. Let's go here. And then we see short sight, ability to see nearby object, but you can't see far object. You see, short sight, see objects which are near. Yes. And then far object, you won't be able to see objects which are far. So what causes that? We say that the eyeball is too long, and then the cornea is too curved. The eyeball, it means that if the eyeball is too long, it means that now the image is formed before the retina. You understand? The image is what? Is formed before the retina. Guys, if you have a question about this, let me know. I say that ask questions only on this topic. When I go to the next topic, I would fix each and every question and topic, so that when you go to write, you're able to score high. We're going to have less talk and more discussions. So tell your parents to order for you KFC and everything, so that you sit, you don't change yourself, so that you prepare yourself for a distinction. So how do you treat it? Because it's too long, the eyeball is too long, therefore what do I need is to a lens which is going to diverge. So I put a diverging lens here. A diverging lens, sometimes it's called the concave lens. So that now when light comes like this, it diverges. It will look like as if it is coming from a nearby object, and then you're able to see the object. Now this thing is going to be pushed far, and then you're able to see objects which are near. However much that object is far. Yes. So long sight, this one, you're able to see objects which are at a distance, but you won't be able to see objects which are near. Yes. So what does it mean? So what does it mean? It means that the eyeball is too short. So it means that we have to bring this back. And then the eyeball is too short, and then inability to become more convex, meaning that this lens is not able to become more thick. That's the meaning. Yes. So basically, astigmatism, that's cool. That's cool. We say that the cornea is not evenly distributed or rounded, and then this leads to multiple images. I think I'm clear there. So when you come to the question, so I think now you can answer any question concerning about the eye. Check the iris. You have here, this is the retina. This is, you see now, yeah, this is the question I was talking about, that students confuse this question. They confuse this question. What happens? They say this is the retina. This is not the retina. They are talking about the space. They're talking about the space. Therefore, the space is pupil, not retina. Yes. So please don't confuse what is the retina or what is the pupil, and don't confuse what is the iris. So this is the iris, while this one is the what? Is the what? This is the iris, while this one is the pupil. Yes. So guys, I think we have smashed the eye. Sometimes I can ask you a question, guys, that how is the retina adapted to its function? How is the retina adapted to its function? Yes. Lindy, thank you. Yes. Thank you for joining as a member. Yes. All right. So how is the retina? Retina is adapted to its function because it has rods and cones. It has rods and cones, which are very important for detecting the change in light. Yes. So guys, I think that is it. Describe how iris control the amount of light entering the eye. So in this case, when they talk about iris, guys, you talk about dim and bright light. Dim light, bright light. But in this case, they are saying, did they mention either dim or bright light? When the person is exposed to bright light. Remember, bright light, we don't mix things up. C with the C and the R with R. Radio muscles, relax. Sacral muscles, contract. R with R, C with the C. Radio muscles, relax. Sacral muscles, contract. The diameter of the pupil constrict. Less light enters the eye. Done. Yes. So what about this? The image is not formed on the retina. You see now, the image is formed in between. If image is not formed on the retina, then automatically we shall see that this object, this individual is not able to see objects which are far. Yes, because we said it here that when the image is formed, but the image is formed before the retina, this person cannot see objects which are far, can only see objects which are near. That's why it's called near short-sightedness. So here, this is a short sight. You won't be able to see objects which are far. So you only be able to see objects which are near. Therefore, it becomes short sight. Yeah. Okay. I think now I'm done with that. Let me go to the reflex arc. But before I go to the reflex arc, I want to give you a simple, small. Yeah. Every time I'm gonna be giving you different terminologies so that you see. Write down. Write down the answers for these terminologies. Yes. Write down the answers. So I'm gonna test you, see if you guys are able to get these answers. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Yeah, write down those words, and also let me just do like this. Yes, 2 of them. Yeah, 5 minutes, ne? Yes, 5 minutes. Yes, now, okay. I left this small homework or class work now, and then let me see how many got it right. Yeah, let's go through it, and then we see how many got it right. Process of maintaining a constant internal environment. When we talk about, now this is just food for thought. Process of maintaining a constant internal environment. So this is homeostasis. Organelle found in large quantities in the neck of the sperm. How do you call this organelle? This organelle is called mitochondria. Yes, a disease characterized by degeneration of the brain tissue leading to memory loss. Yeah, so when you have memory loss, then you have Alzheimer's disease. Then the layer of the eye, which is richly supplied with blood vessels. You see now what I've been talking about of the eye. This layer is called choroid. And then we are saying that the type of development in birds in which young ones are born fully developed and able to move and feed themselves. This is pre. The moment you say you are able, precocial. The moment you're able to see, walk, everything is right, we call it precocial. Then they're saying that group of cells in the pancreas that secrete insulin and glucagon. Group of cells, how do you call that? We call them isolates of Langerhans. Then there's structure in the sperm that contain enzymes to dissolve the outer membrane of the ovum. How do you call that? Structure. They're saying structure. They're not asking you the enzymes. So the structure is called acrosome. So blood vessel that transport oxygen from the fetus to the placenta. Fetus to the placenta. Blood vessel from the fetus. The moment you have that, you have to come back here and then say this is mother, this is the baby. The heart of the baby is this side. So blood vessel which transport blood to the heart, we call it veins. And blood vessels which transport blood away from the heart, we call them arteries. So now you are from the mother to the baby. So it's going to the heart. Therefore, it becomes to be with the vein. But because it is umbilical, therefore it becomes umbilical vein. Is it clear? So that is the blood vessel which does that. And then so basically we have at least got all of them correct. Extra embryonic membrane found in the egg, chorion and allantois, both A and B. Guys, don't say A, B. They said A only, B only, none. Both A and B. Don't just say both. You lose a mark for nothing. Say both A and B. Is it clear? Then you're saying that the structure in the ear that absorbs excess pressure wave from the cochlea. Now we are going to go to the ear, because immediately after this we're going to go to the reflex arc and then the ear. Pinna. So this is what called a pinna. They're saying that then auditory nerve. They're saying that a structure in the ear that absorbs excess pressure. So here there is nothing, because excess pressure is being absorbed by the round window. You understand? Excess pressure is being absorbed by the round window. So the answer here is none. Is none. So they're saying that a structure that transports semen out of the body. Semen, remember when you talk about semen, is a combination of the fluid from the seminal vesicle, the prostate gland, and the Cowper's gland, plus the sperms. Then they form what called the semen. So now the structure that transports semen out of the body is urethra. Urethra. Yeah, that's the structure that does that. Yes. So guys, if you have a question, let me know. Now let's go to the reflex arc. Guys, when you go to the reflex arc, it's easy. It is very easy. Let's reflex arc, it's very, 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 very easy to grasp and understand. All right, I've been telling you that this is the method how you can use to remember. You just say Mr. M. Yes, this is Mr. M, and then Mrs. W. Yes, you are these two, they have a bow tie. A bow tie. Yes, remember bow tie has a button in the middle, and then the two samosas on the sides. So definitely you have the sensory neuron which comes like this. Yes, then goes here. Then you have the synapse, then connector, then this goes out, and then you have the muscles there. So so now this, remember this, it has a swelling here which you call the ganglion, and the ganglion, inside the ganglion you have the cell body. So basically the structure is done. Is there any problem with the structure? So the reflex arc, the reflex arc. So what are some of the questions you're supposed to answer here? Question 1, the question you cannot go without knowing. Number 1, what is a reflex arc? Reflex, what's happening with this? Okay, let me check and see. No, it's acting, yet we are not in a drama now. Doesn't know that I'm better actor. All right, reflex reflex arc. All right, what is the reflex arc? Reflex arc is a path traveled by the impulse during the reflex action. Please don't go without knowing it. Number 2, what is the reflex action? Reflex action is a rapid automatic response to the stimulus. A rapid automatic response to the stimulus is what called the reflex action. Then examples of reflex action. Examples of reflex action, you can talk about blinking of the eye, you can talk about withdrawal of the hand from the hot object, and any other. But guys, reflex action is meant to be for those structures which, okay, reflex action is meant to be protection of the body. Not all involuntary actions you have on the body or in the body, they are reflex actions. No, man. Only those which are able to protect your body. When you close the eye, when you blink the eye, you are closing the eye so that that object is not hurting you. Is it clear? Yes. So it's meant to be like that. Then examples, we are done. What is the function of the reflex arc? Reflex action. Function of reflex action. This one, the function of reflex action is to protect the body from further harm. To protect the body from further harm. So that is the major function. Then you need to know about the synapse. Synapse is a junction between two or more neurons. Junction between two or more neurons. Then after that, you go to what is the function of the synapse? What is the function of the synapse? The function of the synapse is to allow impulse to move in one direction. It allows impulse to move in one direction. Yes. And then after that, since it allows impulse to move in one direction, so meaning that the function of the synapse. Yes. After that, know how to label this, and then what happens? Okay, this is the sensory neuron. The way the sensory neuron enters the spinal cord, we call it the dorsal root. We have the ganglion. We call this one the ganglion, whereby inside we have the cell body, and then now you have the synapse here. You have the synapse. You have the connector neuron. You have another synapse here, and then you have the ventral root. Yes, we call this is a ventral root, and then now it goes to the muscles. You see, it goes to the what? To the muscles. So basically, that is what you're supposed to write or label if they ask you to answer. Central canal, the white matter, and then the gray matter. So basically, that's what you need. So what happens if this sensory neuron A is damaged? Because it's sensory neuron, you won't be able to feel, but you will be able to respond. Someone is going to ask you, But does it happen? Yes. For this case, is not to explain when to happen and how it does happen, but in actual sense, it does happen. So in this case, we say that the person won't be able to feel, but you will be able to respond to the stimulus. And then when you come to the motor neuron, if it is damaged, the person won't be able to respond, but will be able to feel. So the person will be able to feel, but won't be able to respond. While this one, the person won't be able to feel, but will be able to respond. Here, the person will be able to feel, but won't be able to respond. You see? So you have to know that before you go to. So you have A, B, C. Let me call this one C. They ask you what is the direction of the impulse. Where you see the ganglion, where you see the swelling here, that's where the impulse starts from. So it starts from A because this is a sensory neuron. From A, it goes to C, then it goes to B. Is it clear? Yes. Reflex arc is done. There is no way how they're gonna bring a question and it's not covered in what I've said. I'm telling you, there is no way. It's impossible. All right. Let's go to the brain. Maybe the neurons. We talked about the functions of this. Neurons, guys, you need to know these two neurons. What is a cell body? A cell body, yeah. Check. This cell body helps us to determine the type of neuron. When the cell body is at the end or at the terminal, then we call it what? We call it motor neuron. When it's in the middle, yeah, projected out, we call it sensory neuron. When it's not projected out, we call it connector neuron. So the part before the cell body, we call it the dendrite. Then the part after the cell body, we call it what? We call it the axon. So basically, this is the dendrite, and then this is the axon. And then you have this, the same thing. These are dendrites. This is the axon. So they can ask you, what is the function of the axon? The axon transmits impulse away from the cell body. Transmits impulse away from the cell body. The function of the dendrite is to bring impulse to the cell body. So that's the two difference, and that's what you need to know. If they ask you the difference between the motor neuron and the sensory neuron, you talk about the motor neuron has the motor neuron, the cell body is at the terminal, while the sensory neuron, the cell body is along the what? The neuron. Yes. So if they ask you what is the function of the dendrite, we have talked about it, and what is the function of the axon, you must also be able to answer. What is the functional unit of the nervous system? They can also ask you that question. What is the functional unit of a nervous system? So guys, let me know the answer in the comment. What is the functional unit of a nervous system? Okay, I'm not going to answer that, so you will tell me in the comments. Yes, what does it mean, the functional unit of the nervous system? All right, guys, let's go to so we have talked about this, the neurons and stuff, sympathetic and parasympathetic. All right, I'll have to show you that question, which is gonna help you and then be able to answer. Let's go to the brain, man. Brain, these are just free marks. Yeah, unless you don't have a brain. These are free marks. So guys, when they give you the question, make sure that you label. I'm giving you 1 minute. 1 minute, yes, to answer for me this. Just 30 seconds for you to answer what is this and the function. What is this and the function? Okay. 30 seconds. 29. Okay, now let's label. Let's label and we see. You have A is, what is A? A is the spinal cord. Did you get it right? B is the what is B? I didn't see people giving me the answers in the. Okay, B is medulla oblongata. What is E? E is cerebellum. What is C? C is corpus callosum. What is D? D is cerebrum. So what is the function of cerebrum? This one, guys, you have to go when you know each and everything. Center for higher thought processes, that's memory, reasoning, and judgment. It controls all voluntary actions. It receives and interprets all the sensations. Let me just show you here so that you don't waste too much time. Yeah, this, please go when you know this. Please go when you know the part and the function of each. Controls all voluntary actions. We say that higher thought process, center for higher thought processes, connect the left and the right hand. That's not the one. Someone is saying this brew. What is the function of the Myelin sheath? Okay, Pani is asking me what's the function of the Myelin sheath. The function of the Myelin sheath is to insulate the axon. It insulates the axon. Number two, you can talk about that it transmits. You can say that it speeds up. It speeds up the speed of what? Of the say it speeds up the transmission of the impulse. It increases the speed at which the impulse is moving. Why? Because it stops this electricity from being lost. So it speeds up the rate at which the impulse is moving. Yes, by insulating the axon. Someone is asking me, Myelin sheath is transmit an impulse rapidly in one direction. No. Abdul. Myelin sheath speeds up the speed of impulse. You understand? The one which allows impulse to move in one direction is the synapse. The synapse, I've explained it very well. That the synapse speeds up, the synapse allows impulse to move in one direction. Myelin sheath speeds up the speed of what? Of impulse. So please don't mix the two together. Yes. Just a moment. Yeah. All right. So the brain, guys, please. Now the last question on the brain. How is the brain protected? How is the brain protected? The brain is protected. The brain is protected by the meninges. Meninges, we don't want to know what are they. However much they talk about them in the books, we don't want to know them. By meninges, that is, however much is, if you talk about those meninges, you don't mention the meninges, you say Piamara, Dioramara, arachnoids, you have to state all of them to score 1 mark. But why do you go there? Just say protected by the meninges, protected by the skull, protected by the cerebrospinal fluid. Yes. Unfortunately, I cannot talk about this distinction material, but this distinction material is for Excel in distinction material. So yes, if you used it, I know that you're gonna get a distinction. Check. This is how it is being protected. So this is for the spinal cord, while this is there for the brain. So this is brain, spinal cord. So I think now you know better. So the brain is done. Let's go to the ear. Yes, let's go to the ear. So we talked about all this. It's good. Oh, there is something which before I go to the ear, they just talk about this. Let me just show you this. Central nervous system. This is the central nervous system. The central nervous system is divided into two. That is there. Sorry, nervous system is divided into central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is divided into the brain and the spinal cord. You understand? And then the peripheral nervous system, this is the one way. The peripheral nervous system is divided into cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Yes, you understand? Then you have they form what called the autonomic nervous system. Yes, they form what you call the autonomic nervous system, where you have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Where can I get this distinction material? Someone is asking me, where can I get this distinction material? All right, I'll send a link in there, or you can check it on YouTube, where you find join, and then you try to join. All right. Then they're saying that name the part of the nervous system. So we are done with this. Give the type of the nerve that is found in C. So we have talked about this. Yes. Give 2 ways in which the brain is protected. So we know that. So guys, the brain, I think it is clear. Let's go to the ear. Let's go to the ear. Guys, sometimes when we bring the ear, it looks funny, it looks ugly, but that's the ear. Yes. So that's the ear, there is nothing. So what is F? F is a semicircular canal. What is this? This is auditory. Oval window. What is this? This is a round window. This and this and C is the same thing. They just dismantled them. And then what is D? This is a station tube. What is this? This is oscos. What is this? Guys, don't go without knowing the function of a station tube. There is no way they can bring a paper without asking you the function of the station tube. I don't know why. They bring the ear and they don't ask you that question. Yes. So they're saying that now identify what is F. F we said it. The collective name for B we call them is oscos. Then they are saying the letter and name of the structure that equalizes pressure on outer membrane of the ear. We said it is this, and then they are saying that create pressure wave in the inner ear, that is the oval window. And then they are saying that name the receptor that stimulates the change in position of the head. Guys, when we talk about this is balance. Now we're gonna go to balance. Yes. So now position of the head is maculae, and then speed and direction is cresti. So if you look at our distinction material book, yes, we wrote what we call Saidi's model of balance. Saidi's model of balance. What is Saidi's model of balance? Here, change in the speed and you see speed and direction, it is the cresti, and then position of the head is maculae. That's why here you see it here when they ask you a question here, speed and direction. So you see it, speed and direction it becomes here what? It becomes speed and direction cresti, while position of the head is maculae. So I think it is clear in there. Let's see some questions concerning about can you label for me this? What is this? A is, check guys, I say that it has a swelling, then it means that that is the sensory neuron. You see? Yes. You see this side there is no swelling, but this side, sensory neuron, connector neuron, and then here this is the synapse junction between the two. This is a synapse, guys, and then this is what? This is the motor neuron. Let me see the question. What is the reflex action? We said it. Rapid automatic response to the stimulus. What is the function of part D? You see that's the synapse. We say that it allows impulse to move in one direction. What is neuron B? So we talked about it. Neuron B is a connector neuron. Then they are saying that state the significance of connection D. So we talked about it, that it allows impulse to move in one direction. Then they are saying that write down the correct order. We talked, actually, we answered all these questions when we are discussing. From it comes from what? If you look at it, it comes from here and then it goes here, because this is a receptor, and then this is the effector. So I think, guys, you see that things are moving. Things are what? Things are moving. What is the significance of the synapse? Zubeni. Okay, I think I've answered it. We say that this function of the synapse allows impulse to move in one direction. Then they're saying that draw a diagram that represents the structure of A. Now you need to know what is structure of A. Remember, I told you that the one which has the swelling, it is a sensory neuron. Remember, I said that the sensory neuron has the cell body along. You see? Yes, it has a cell body along. So I'm not saying that draw it like this. You have to draw it nicely, but I'm just trying to show you that it is along the what? Along the neuron. Guys, are we together? Or are you getting what I'm trying to remind you? So here, you need to know how to label. You cannot go without knowing how to label the ear. So what is this? What is this? This is auditory canal. This is oscars. This is cochlea. This is auditory nerve, and then this is round the window, over window. Let me check. Yeah, it's around the window. It's down. Round the window. This, the upper one, is the over window, and then this is a station tube. A station tube. Pan is saying, come back and thank me. Yeah, thank you. What will make me happy is to see that however much I'm not there, but I know that you guys are gonna make it. Gonna make it. We have smashed this topic. There is no way. So if, for example, is 40% of the paper for this topic, for example, you're gonna get 39.999. I'm telling you. Yes, if you have watched from the beginning up to where we are now. Yeah, don't mind about the time we have spent when we are on live. Say that is what, there is nothing we can do but except to smash everything. You don't need more time to go and read, just go and write, man. You understand? Yes, that's why I'm doing this for you, so that, yeah. Then they're saying that the function of part A. Now let's look at the function of each. Now, guys, when they ask you hearing is simple. You just write the function. You have to know how it works. That from here you go to there, you go to here, you go to here. So you talk about pinna and its function. Pinna, it collects sound wave and directs to auditory canal. You talk about the auditory canal, you mention it, and then you say the function. Auditory canal transmits the sound wave to the tympanic membrane. You tell us tympanic membrane vibrates and change the sound wave into vibration, and then send this to oscars. Oscars amplify the vibration. You see, you explaining by telling us a part and a function in their order, then it forms the process of hearing. You see, it's simple. The process of hearing is formed by what? By naming the part and the function until you reach the end, until you take the impulse to the brain for interpretation. Guys, is that difficult? Is that really difficult? Someone is saying that, yeah, finally my cerebrum understands. Oh, no, I know that you are a life science student. I thought that you were going to say my medulla oblongata. The moment you say my medulla oblongata, then you are gone. then it's off, ne? Yeah, okay, yeah, your cerebrum, because that's the one which receives and interprets all the sensations. All right. Then they're saying that, okay, write down the part of the part. They brought this question in the, and then people failed. They say that, how does the eustachian tube equalizes pressure on either side of the tympanic membrane? Eustachian tube equalizes pressure on either side of the membrane by allowing air saturation in and out of the middle ear. By allowing air saturation in and out of the what? Of the middle ear. So guys, you have to know that before you go. Yes, before you go to the paper. This is how the part of the middle ear, including the membrane, assists in the amplification of how is the middle ear? Basically, the middle ear, this one, they arranged in order whereby from big to small. Definitely there will be a pressure difference. So that amplifies that vibration. So I think the ear is also cool. Ne? Balance. Let me just talk about balance, and then we finish the ear and with the ear infections. Guys, balance. When you talk about balance, you talk about the speed and direction. Then you have to talk about the position of the head. You see, these are the two, because sometimes when they bring a question, it's about the speed and direction. That's all. Or we can bring speed and direction and the position of the head differently. So you guys, you have to know that how it works. You have to know that how it works. So balance, speed and direction of the head. Change in the speed and direction of the head stimulates the crystal. Where is it found? Found in the ampulla of the semicircular canal, comma. Change in the position of the head stimulates the maculae, found in the circulars and the utriculars of the semicircular canal, comma. The two are, the stimuli is converted into a nerve impulse. You see, that's another mark, which is sent along the auditory nerve to cerebellum for interpretation to restore balance. That's it. Yes, that's it. I'll be here same time, around this time tomorrow, inshallah, trying to discuss that memorandum and then see how much you have got so that you prepare for paper 2. Ne? Then after that, on Sunday, I'll be here still to talk about paper 2, how you are going to make it become a reality. All right. So this is the balance, exactly what I explained there. And then hearing. So hearing aid. You have the middle ear infection, and then the hearing aid, the hearing loss due to accumulation of wax. Either you damage the membrane or you accumulate the what? The wax. Accumulation of wax, you just remove the wax. Sometimes you call it cerumen. And then middle ear infection, here you only talk about, middle ear infection, you talk about what causes it is a bacteria. And the moment, how do you treat it? Remember, bacteria are being treated by the antibiotics. Number 2, you apply or you insert what called the grommets. Grommets, ne? Yes. So when you apply or when you insert grommets, then you are able to drain the pus. You see now how the pus is being drained? Yeah, the pus is being drained, and then you are able to become, you are able to hear. So this is the grommet, that's how it is being inserted into the ear. So we use the grommet and antibiotics for middle ear infection. Then you have deafness. If it is caused by the cerumen, you just remove the cerumen. But if it is caused by injury, whereby the oscars, maybe they have been hardened, then you have to apply the hearing aid. Yes. And then maybe it's an accident, the brain, the part of the ear has been damaged, can't be restored. Then you have to, apply the cochlear implant. You have to do what you call a cochlear implant. Like this kid who is here, and the father showing that a tattoo showing the daughter or the son that, oh, you are not the only one, I'm also like you. Yes. Together we will make South Africa shine. How? By passing the paper you're gonna write tomorrow. Okay guys, I think the year I'm done with it. Let's go to so we are done with this. Should I go to reproduction or then negative feedback mechanism? Okay. This question is an example of a negative feedback homeostasis. Yes, this one. But if they bring about the skin, what are you supposed to talk about here? Thermoregulation is very easy. You only talk about the S's. S. What are the S's? This is a sweat gland. This is a sweat pore. This is a sweat, did I say sweat pore? Sweat gland, sweat duct, sweat pore. And then what you produce here is the sweat. Sweat gland, sweat duct, sweat pore, sweat. Yes. Name 2 reasons why A is classified as endocrine. Because it secretes substance. First of all, it has a duct. It has a duct, and also secretes substances direct where they are needed, outside the body. So basically here, where are they needed? They are needed outside the body. So that's why it's regarded as an exocrine gland. We only have one gland which is both exocrine and endocrine. Exocrine and endocrine. Which gland is that? That gland is the pancreas. That's the gland which is both exocrine and endocrine. What are you doing here? Zianda. How can you ask that question? Okay. Then we are saying that describe the role of the skin receptor in the thermoregulation. Describe the role of the skin receptor in thermoregulation. What is basically skin receptors? They detect the change in the temperature. Yeah, so that now they can send the impulse to the brain, and then it can work accordingly. You understand? So basically they detect the changes in temperature. Explain why B dilates on hot day. Where is B? The blood vessel. This blood vessel. Why does it dilate? So that it allows more blood to flow, so that more heat is lost to the what? To the surrounding. Okay, let's go use our distinction material. Then we're gonna see some questions concerning about that. Guys, this is endocrine, exocrine. When you talk about endocrine, glands which can secrete substance in the blood and transported to the target organ by the blood. So those are endocrine glands. While exocrine glands, they secrete substances where they are needed. Where they are needed. Reproduction. Yes, I'll come to reproduction. Then, what is a hormone? Please, you have to know that. Protein in nature that act as messenger, needed to in a small amounts. So that one you know, Yes, homeostasis. Melissa, I'm on you now. All right. Then they're saying that you see what they do. They are being transported to the target organs by this. So guys, this one you just have to go knowing how to label each and every part in here. You have to know to label each and every part which is in there. Where's my question for homeostasis? Hypo. So anyway, I don't see it. Yeah. So Litabo, thank you very much. Then let's go to the next question. This, please make sure that, how do I know this, guys? No, location, gland, function. That's it. Glands, we usually ask you location, hypothalamus, you see, ADH, what's the function of ADH? Then you go to pupillary gland, location, that's the gland, location where it's located, because they can ask you what is X. Ne? Yeah, and then tell us the hormones it produces and the function of each. Thyroid gland in the neck, you have to know that. Whenever they ask you anything in the neck, it's thyroid gland. What does it do? Thyroxine. What's the function of thyroxine? It regulates the metabolic rate of the body. You see, so you have to know that. Adrenal gland, it is on the top of the kidney. It has two functions, adrenaline and aldosterone. Adrenaline for emergency, aldosterone, you talk about aldosterone is responsible for controlling the amount of salt in the body. You understand? Yes. Then we say ovary, we talk about estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, you talk about that it prepares the uterus for implantation by making it thick, vesicular, and granular. While progesterone by making the endometrium more thick, more vesicular, more granular, and that is maintaining pregnancy. Testis, you have to know that testis, what is it for? Produce testosterone. What's the function of the testosterone? Is maturation of the sperms and secondary sexual characteristics. You see? Yes. So pancreas, you need to know, we say that, remember guys, I said that pancreas is the only gland which can be both endocrine and exocrine. Is the only gland which can be both endocrine and exocrine. Yes, so please make sure that you know that. So you see, that's exactly what we have talked about. Please know how to label this. At least these are just simple questions to answer. But now, when we go to the homeostasis, that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge. Disorder. Guys, this one also disturbs students. When they say that occurs when the thyroid gland produce more or too much thyroxine. You understand? We call it hyperthyroidism. But enlargement of the neck, we call it goiter. That is enlargement of the neck as a result of deficiency with iodine. And then hypothyroidism means that the thyroid gland is not making enough thyroid hormone, to keep the body running normally. Yes, so basically it causes these myxedemas and stuff. But what you need to know here is goiter, enlargement of the thyroid gland. We call it what? Goiter. Let's go to the negative feedback mechanism, guys. Negative feedback mechanism and homeostasis. Are you ready? Okay. Guys, here you have only one technique how you can read this, because I'm not going to go through all this. I'm just trying to show you what you're supposed to do to remember everything. Yes, cool. You have normal level of, for example, glucose. Ne? You come here, you tell us normal level of glucose sharp in the blood. If this shows that there is increase in glucose level, this one is gonna be glucose level decrease. Is it clear? Yes? And then when you have 2 points to fill in here, you have 2 points to fill in here. The first point is you're gonna have to tell us when there is increase in glucose, you have to know the two glands, the gland and the function of that gland, meaning that the gland, what hormone does it produce and the function of that hormone. For example, if glucose level increase, I need it to be decreased. Which hormone stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen so that it decreases? It is insulin. Which gland produces that? It is pancreas. So I will say that here, pancreas will produce, yes, more insulin. Insulin. Sharp. Now, I have this. It will go there. The pancreas is going to produce more insulin. And then now, what is the function of this insulin? So you come here and tell us that the function of the insulin is to stimulate the liver to convert glucose to glycogen. Glucose to glycogen. And then what happens? And what happens that? What happens there? You do, the moment glucose is decreased to glycogen, then automatically it goes back to normal. So basically that's what you're supposed to do. What about the lower one? Is the same thing. If you have low level here, the last statement must be high. So you guys, 2 steps whereby you talk about the gland, the hormone it produces, and the function of the hormone. So which gland is this? Gland is going to still be pancreas, produces glucagon. Then glucagon is going to stimulate the liver to convert glucose to glycogen, and then the level of glucose will increase. You see? So if the word here low is there, here is must say high or increase. You understand? And then here I talk about the gland, and then here I talk about the function of the hormone that gland it produces. Then it goes back to normal. So that's what you need to know. It must not confuse you. It must not confuse you. So when you come back here, we shall see that it's the same thing. Glucose level increase, glucose level decrease. Insulin, pancreas secrete insulin. You see, the pancreas secrete insulin. Now here I'm going to talk about the function of the insulin. Insulin is glucose is converted into glycogen, and the moment glucose is converted to glycogen, then the glucose level decrease and then goes back to normal. So that's what you're supposed to talk about. Then when you come to the same side, this side is the same thing. If it is decrease, then automatically the last statement is increase. And then if it's a pancreas secrete glucagon, then automatically here the pancreas is going to secrete glucagon. Here we're going to say that glucagon is going to stimulate the liver to convert glycogen back to glucose. And the moment glycogen back to glucose, it means that the level of glucose is going to increase and then it's going to go back to normal. So exactly that's what you need to know about. This is diabetes. Yes, this is diabetes. Diabetes, guys, call it diabetes mellitus. Don't just say diabetes, because we have different types of diabetes. We have diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus, diabetes of sugar and diabetes of water. So in this case, we are talking about diabetes of sugar. So don't call it diabetes, call it diabetes mellitus. What is as a result, what results in diabetes mellitus is as a result of the pancreas not working. The pancreas is not producing enough, or is faulty. It means that it cannot work anymore. So it leads to the isolator of Langerhans not working or not working anymore, leading to that problem. So let's look at this. High level of glucose. This is the pancreas, and this is the organ. This is the organ, the high level of glucose. Then what happens here? Releases the hormone 2. Hormone 2, okay, we shall see. But they're saying high level of glucose. So we need to convert glucose into glycogen. Automatically, hormone 2 is going to be insulin. And then now here is going to be low level of glucose. Automatically, we need it high. Remember, I told that if you see here low, you will see here the last statement will increase. If you see here high, the last statement is going to be decrease. You see? Because this is dotted. You see? So it's guys, it's easy and able to organelle 1 is pancreas. Correct? Yes. Organelle 1 is what? Is the pancreas. Yes. So hormone 2 is insulin. Hormone 3 is glucagon. So you must know how to manipulate this and this. Hey guys, carbon dioxide is a problem. Whenever they bring carbon dioxide, people go off. Zulu, sir, you are fast. Please slow down. Oh, serious, ne? Okay, I'm going to slow down because I know that this is the problem. Okay, here you have carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, if it is produced, sometimes they can ask you that which I've forgotten the question how it was asked, ne? Yeah, but it was asking you about carbon dioxide, the compound which increases the breathing rate, the compound which result in the breathing rate increasing. So it is carbon dioxide, because we want to remove this carbon dioxide out of the body. So increase in the blood, carbon dioxide decreases the pH. We say that this one reacts with water to form carbonic acid, therefore the pH decreases. That's why we are saying that decreases the pH, and then decreases the oxygen. Why? Because oxygen has been used up in the muscles and the cells. And then the receptors, the low pH is detected by the chemoreceptors, and then now after that the impulse is sent to the medulla oblongata. So this part of breathing is controlled by the medulla oblongata, isn't it? And then now the respiratory muscles, that is the breathing rate and the heartbeat increase. Why breathing rate increases? So that more carbon dioxide is ejected out. And then why the heartbeat is increasing? So that more blood is sent to the lungs, so that these wastes can be pushed out of the what? Out of the body. The heart rate increase, more carbon dioxide is moved from the body. And then the negative feedback mechanism of carbon dioxide, basically that's how it works, by decreasing the carbon dioxide level, and then the pH also returns to normal, and then the cycle. Guys, this is the only negative feedback mechanism which does not have two sides. It only has one side, by removing. Yes. So that one is also easy. So this one, guys, is the same thing. Ne? They like water, they like same thing, normal level, decrease. The last one must be more water or increase. Then talk about the gland which produce, and which hormone does it produce? Is it ADH, you see? Then you tell us the function of ADH. The ADH, it allows the permeability of the collecting duct and distal convoluted tubule increase. You see, ADH is responsible to increase the permeability. Why? Because we have low water levels. So what you want is to increase the water levels. So what do we do is the permeability. By talking about the permeability, increasing, and then more water is being reabsorbed back to blood, and then it goes back to normal. Simple. And then here, level of water increase sharp. So once the level of water increases, what happens? It secretes, the pancreas stops secreting what? ADH, or it can secrete less ADH. And then the moment it does check increase, the last one could be decrease or less. So what happens? You talk about the gland, you talk about the hormone it secretes less, is being secreted less, and then after that you talk about the function of that hormone. The permeability of the collecting duct and this convoluted tubule decrease, and the moment they decrease, then automatically the water level goes back to normal. So same story with the salts. Talk about the gland, adrenaline, adrenal gland, hormone, aldosterone, function of the hormone, reabsorbs more sodium ions, increase, salt level increase, goes back to normal. So you need to know this normal level. If you say decrease, the last one increases. So basically you go to the paper when you know 2 marks mahala. You have these 2 marks mahala, you just have to fill in these 2 and then you get all the answers. Things are simple and easy. Yes. Things are simple and easy. Then lastly is thermoregulation. Under thermoregulation, guys, this one is also simple and easy. Under thermoregulation, yes, what happens here is you need to know what is the process of thermoregulation. Yeah? After defining the process of thermoregulation very well, then you need to know this. You need to know this. What is this? Is sweat gland. What is this? As I said, is sweat duct. What is this? Is a sweat pore. So now, when it comes to you, during hot day, let me show you how we mark it. During hot day, the hypothalamus is stimulated. The hypothalamus is what? Is stimulated. And then the moment the hypothalamus is stimulated, yes, it will send the impulse to the blood vessel. Now the blood vessels during hot day will dilate. Dilate becomes more bigger. Yes. Once they dilate, this is called vasodilation. This is called vasodilation. More blood will flow to near the skin. You see it here, and then the more sweat, more heat is lost from the skin, and then more blood is sent to the sweat gland. Then the moment more blood is sent here, the sweat gland, it means that the sweat gland becomes more active, and then more sweat is produced. The moment more sweat is being produced, you start to sweat like this. It means that as it is evaporating, it leads to the cooling of the body. So it's the reverse with this. So what you do, you memorize one, and then you're able to answer the other one. If you say vasodilation, it's going to be vasoconstriction. So all these blue colors or different colors you see here, they mean a marking point. You cannot leave them out. You can change the English, but you can't change these words. Those are marking points which you're supposed to talk about when it comes to this. And then if a question comes like this and then it's about this, how do I know that this diagram 1, diagram 2, and diagram 3, which one is a hot day? Automatically, which one is a hot day? This one is going to be a hot day because the blood vessels are larger. You see, compared to this. And then they are near the skin. Number 2, this one also shows hot day because there is too much, there is sweat here. You see? Yes. Identify the part labeled A. A is a sweat duct, sweat gland. And they're saying give 2 numbers of the gland of diagram 1, 2, and 3 that is responsible for high environmental temperature. So we have said is this and is that and that. They're saying that would the skin release more heat through radiation? Diagram 1. The answer is no. Through radiation, no. Why? Because it's not a hot day. So it means that it will have more heat lost in diagram 3. Diagram 1, Give the number of the diagram 1, 2, 3 that is responsible for that vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction is diagram 1. You understand? Yes. And then they're saying that which part of the brain controls thermoregulation. Thermoregulation is controlled by hypothalamus. Hypothalamus controls it, emotion. It controls the hunger, the sleep. All that is being controlled by the hypothalamus. Yes. Which part of the brain controls? So we are done with that. So you see, guys, yeah, you're able to answer these questions. Yeah, you're able to answer. There is a question which I like here. When they ask you a question, here they say that name one other hormone that would have the same effect as these blood vessels. So the answer here, we say that answer here is, remember, vaso in A, this is vasoconstriction. It is adrenaline. Remember, guys, that adrenaline, thyroxine, and what else? Adrenaline, thyroxine, and insulin. Yes, they might have this some commonalities. Yes, because all of them, they work towards the rate of the metabolic rate. They work going that way. Let's go to tropism, and then we shall wind up with the reproduction. Yes. You have okay, can I give you some few food for thought? Yes. Answer for me. Just you answer for me, very fast, giving you 2 minutes. Hmm? 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 I'm in class. Okay, let's look at it now. I hope you have a gland which secrete the and transport gland which secrete. Let me just do like this. Yeah, so I hope everyone can see now. All right, they're saying the gland that secrete and transported through blood. The gland whose secretion is transported through the blood. You see, we say that if it's transported through the gland, it means that it doesn't have a duct, so it becomes endocrine gland. So done. They're saying the system that is responsible for chemical coordination in the body. So how do you call that system that is responsible for chemical coordination in the body? It is endocrine. It's endocrine system. Yes, they're saying that because endocrine system is responsible for chemicals, while nervous system is responsible for electricity. Yeah, hormones that is stimulates the ovulation in the human. Ovulation is a luteinizing hormone. We know that. Done. They're saying that the process of maintaining a constant internal environment in the body, constant internal environment, homeostasis, and then the gland that secretes the and transport through ducts. The gland whose secretion is transport, you see, gland, ducts. So it becomes endocrine glands. Then you're saying that the hormone that secretes the mammary gland to produce milk. So this is the prolactin. So the reason why I'm doing these ones, I was not doing the other ones because these are just hormones, because you have to know the hormones, guys. The hormone that is responsible for osmoregulation. For osmoregulation in the osmoregulation is water. Whenever you say osmoregulation is what is water, ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Specialized cells in the pancreas that secrete insulin and glucagon. We say that is called isolates of Langerhans. Isolates of what? Of Langerhans. Then they're saying that the hormone that is responsible for secondary sexual characteristics in what? In male, that is testosterone. And then they're saying that the hormone that is responsible for maintaining salt balance in the blood, we say that is aldosterone. We say that the gland that secretes follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone in the female, gland that that is the brain. Which part of the brain? We're talking about the pituitary gland or hypophysis. Guys, don't call it master gland, because if you call it master gland, we won't give you a tick. We call it hypophysis or pituitary gland. A chemical messenger produced by endocrine gland. Chemical messenger. How do you call that chemical messenger? Produced by the endocrine gland. Chemical messenger. So we call them hormones. Yes. Then they're saying the gland that is located in the neck that secretes thyroxine hormone. Gland that is located in the neck and secretes thyroxine hormone. How do you call that gland? That gland is called a gland in the neck, thyroid gland. Automatically they have talked about thyroxine, thyroid gland. Hormone that controls the metabolic rate in the body, that is the thyroxine. They're saying that the hormone that increases the blood glucose level in the blood, in the body. The hormone that increases the blood glucose level in the blood. How do you call that hormone that increases the blood glucose level? If it is increase the blood glucose level in the blood, then that's glucagon, because it stimulates the conversion of glucose, glycogen back to glucose, and then the level increases. Then they are saying that the hormone that the hormone that lowers the blood glucose level, that is insulin, promote the secretion of hormone produced by the thyroid gland. Promotes the secretion of hormones produced by thyroid gland. What promotes the secretions? Promotes secretions of hormones secreted by the thyroid gland, thyroid stimulating hormone. Then they are saying that the mechanism that detect the imbalances and restore them into in the internal environment. That is negative feedback mechanism. Then a hormone responsible for growth and development in the body. Hormone responsible for growth and development in the body. Growth and development in the body. Which hormone is this? So the hormone is going to be responsible for growth and development. I don't know that one. Do you know it? Obviously, it's a growth hormone. Yes, it's a growth hormone. Anyway, that's it. Even these ones that are just both A and B. At least, guys, you need to know how to do this. So we have seen it. The skin. The skin, we have seen it. And then we said this is what? This is a sweat gland. This is a sweat gland, ne? Sweat gland. And then this is what? The blood capillaries. Describe how structure A function during thermoregulation. Structure A, how does it? Remember, it dilates because they're saying cold. So it constricts. Less blood flows into that structure A or blood vessel, and then there will be less cooling. Now, explain why temperature needs to be kept constant in human. Basically, temperatures are supposed to be kept constant because they have they are supposed to do what? Remember, we have reactions and hormones and enzymes and which are protein in natures, and then once you just work out without, like, these enzymes are supposed to be having a specific temperature. Any increase, they will it will cause denaturation above 37.5. It's gonna cause denaturation, and below it too much is gonna call inactive. The enzymes are going to become inactive, so the organism is gonna be a little bit slower. It's gonna be a little bit what? Slower. But above it is gonna be a little bit faster. It's gonna be a little bit what? Faster. So that's why it is important for that to happen. And then they're saying that so these are just labeling. You have to know how to label. This is a pituitary gland. Let me check. Yeah, it's a pituitary gland because it's like a P. Yeah, pituitary gland. This is thyroid gland. This is a pancreas, and then this is a adrenal gland. You have to know the hormone it produces and the function of each hormone, guys. Yes, so if you go there, you are able to get name two similarities between hormones and the nerves. Name two. Both they bring about response. Actually, both are stimulated by the stimulus and they bring about a response. You see? Yes. So they are basically they try to respond as a result of a stimulus, as a change in the environment. Yes. So this is thermoregulation also. So you guys, I think you will be able to do this. You will be able to do these questions which are going to come, and I trust you that you guys, you are going to make it, and you are going to make it. I repeat, you're going to make it, and you're going to make it. Yes. When you go to tropism, guys, yes, tropism. This one, I'm just going to highlight it. I think I will come back at around 8. Yeah, I have to go for a break now, and then I'll come back. And then if you have questions, but I have to answer those questions. But before I go, because I have to come back with the reproduction, yes, before I go, here you need to know two hormones. Insulin, three hormones, gibberellins and abscisic acid. This one is a growth promoter, while this one works in summer, and then this one works in winter. You understand? So you need to know those two hormones. You need to know those two hormones. If they give you a graph like this, and they ask you that, for example. Okay, let me just do it like this. Say hormone A and then say hormone B, and then this, they say that this is summer. Let me just call it like that. So please teach how to maintain balance. Hey, sister, oh brother, I've talked about cocky. I've talked about that. You have to replay. Okay, they're saying that this is B, this is A, this is B. Yeah, yes. If this is A and this is B, so which, if this is summer and then this is winter, they ask you which hormone. It's the same hormone, man. This is B. Which hormone is responsible for A, and which hormone is A and which hormone is B? Automatically, if this is summer, then this is gonna be gibberellin, and if this is winter, this is gonna be abscisic acid. So abscisic acid works in winter, while gibberellin works in summer. I'm supposed to give you some questions about the the tops are being cut and then you put there the agar. Yes, I'm supposed to design for you a question concerning about that, but I have to go for a break and then I'm gonna come back for that, ne? Yes. Guys, I'm going to stop here for now, ne? Then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna put the live, make sure that maybe around 6 o'clock, ne? Just an hour from now. Yes, I'm gonna come back and then I finish reproduction, and then I also talk about other topics in this regard. So people who have I'll try to replay for you this as a recorded one, and then so that you are able to benefit, ne? Yes.